Hi, I'm Caz Parker for MMH, the home of rock radio, and today I'm joined by guitarist Greg Hart from the awesome Cats in Space. Thanks for having me. Thanks for catching up with me. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Good to finally talk without any technical gremlins going on like we did at the old festival a few weeks ago.
Stone Dead Festival, exactly. So it is exciting to be interviewing again because obviously we met for the first time at Stone Dead Festival, which was a fab day, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. I'll tell you what, that was a really good festival. I mean, we'd heard all the hype about it and said how fab it was, but until you actually play it and get there and get amongst it, you never really truly get a feel for it, you know. But no, we actually had an absolutely amazing day, and it was very well run. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good success. Hopefully next year they'll keep mopping up with it. Yeah, it was
that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's the third one now, and it seems to be here to stay, which is great. And I think, again, for a lot of us that are veterans of things like Monsters of Rock as well, it's nice to have a one-day festival with one stage, so you can see everything. You can see all of the bands as well. So really, really good day. And the weather always seems to hold out as well for Stone Dead.
We did. We brought the sunshine, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how it does, but every year that I've been, it's been dry. I don't think it's rained yet. So,
no, fingers crossed. Because it did the following week, following 2 weeks after we did another one, and Rocking the Bowl, and it was rain and rain and rain, and it rained, but then it stopped when we went on. So we managed to pull the rain off that.
Oh, it's you then, basically. You're obviously charmed. That's good.
Yeah, we're magical cats.
Yeah. Well, I did go to Rocking the Bowl, but I was there on the day after. I couldn't do the whole weekend, so I missed you, unfortunately. But it was glorious that day, so maybe I'm charmed as well. Although that wouldn't be true. That is definitely not true because I go to Download Festival and I have no influence on that monsoon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Charmed and cursed at the same time. So, all right then. Well, back then when we did that interview with God, it was you, Dean, and Jeff, wasn't it? Yeah. And the big news that we were talking about was you were about to embark on the Dive into Atlantis tour. So that's now done, finished. I think it's completely finished, isn't it? So how was that?
Yeah, the part, well, obviously we're diving into Christmas on part two, but as you do. But yeah, the first part's done. And it was, again, we kind of made a point of making sure that tour went ahead as best it could, mainly because so many people were cancelling and putting out, and the whole scene seemed to be very, very unstable. Everybody was unsure what was going on. So we just said, look, if everybody keeps pulling out and cancelling stuff because you can, it was very easy to cancel gigs and use that as an excuse, to be fair. Everyone's just going to lose heart with the whole thing. So we said, let's just do it. If there's 20 people there, so what? And as it turned out, it was well supported. It was much better than we thought. It wasn't as high as it would have been, perhaps, for places like London especially.
Right.
But overall, the tour, there was a really good vibe. And the people that came out, it was quite emotional, you know, because there was people that... And we had Dave Ling came down to the sound check.
Oh, wow.
At Brighton show. And he said he was really emotional because it was the very first live thing he'd heard since lockdown. Was our sound check. I thought, oh, that's a good way of looking at it. So that vibe spread through the tour, and it was brilliant. And the guys in Vambo who played with us, they went down really well. They're a great band, and we played really well. And it was very well received. And I have to say, and it was Damien's first real, you know, the first proper tour with the band. So it bedded himself in with a few of the festivals, but he hit his stride on the tour, and it was just a joy every night just to go on stage and play probably the best shows we've ever played, to be fair.
Well, that's good. Well, you had time to practice, didn't you? Time to get yourself ready and warmed up for it. But
a lot, during lockdown,
all separately, of course. That's the only thing that's not ideal, isn't it? And actually, talking about that, I know you were telling me about the thing you were most proud of that had happened during that whole horrible lockdown period was recording the Atlantis album, because some of it, you'd started it, some of it had to be done remotely, but actually the depth of feeling that went into it because of what everybody was going through was... And so that might be part of it as well, because like you say, I mean, people were desperate and hungry to get out to live shows. For some people, it's still, like you say, some people are still finding it hard to kind of do that, especially the indoor shows. The festivals have been quite well attended because a lot of them are outdoors. So it's a really interesting time. And I'm glad it was as enjoyable as you say it was, and I'm glad you made it through as well, because some people have been some of the reason bands are pulling out is because they are getting COVID, and you're sort of on a knife edge all the time, aren't you? Because if one member of the band goes down, that's it.
I mean, yeah, we were very lucky, to be fair. I mean, I don't want to kind of jinx it or anything, but we've all been very healthy. But we did all our bad stuff during COVID, obviously with Stevie's, operation in the studio, and like you said about the way Atlantis was recorded, there was a lot of bad and not good stuff went on during the recording of it. With personal stuff. Myself with my father, and having to change singers, and Stevie and having his operation, and it was a really, really tough time. But throughout all of it, we had this album to finish, and that's why I said we'll never be able to make another album like it. Hopefully, it did have this real kind of thing about it that was very, very special to us, and we said if that transcends to the punters, and that's going to be great. And it did. When we did the song Atlantis live on the tour, it was a really special time, because it seems to have struck with a lot of people, that song, because it is quite a lyric if people care to dig into it. So it was a really, it was a weird time, but we made good through it, and we were very fortunate, and we're very fortunate to do the tour, and very fortunate to obviously be completing the next album as well. So we've been flat. I personally haven't stopped. COVID hasn't hit me at all. Because I was just locked away in the studio on a farm for Atlantis. Then we came out, and the few things, obviously the Christmas period was a bit rubbish. And then I started on the next album.
Well, I remember you saying it was about three quarters of the way done in August. So is it finished now?
Yeah, I'm actually a third of the way through mixing it as we speak. So the old brain's a bit fried, and my ears are absolutely shot to bits. But no, we've been putting a shift over it, and obviously trying to make it fill Atlantis's boots as well, because we know that was quite a special album. So we've worked even harder on this one. We're in good shape.
All right, so you're pretty proud of what's to come as well. When's it coming out?
It won't be out till next year, obviously, because by the time we get all the vinyl sorted, that's going to take us into early summer. And then with the singles to precede it, and then the campaign to build up towards it. So we'll be making noises around the spring. We're going to go very quiet at Christmas. You won't see us again after Christmas for a while. And then we'll start making big noises in the spring. And it's good. It's going to be, I'm very, very confident with it, I've got to say. I'm smiling because it's, I know. We don't know, but the band don't know half of it.
Surprises.
They're all come and gone like they do. We've all played together, and we've all done we went to Rack Studios in London, and that was an incredible time to do that. We'll probably go to Rack again to do some more recording next year as well. It was so amazing, and the vibe was incredible. So we're all sitting happy at the moment.
Well, tell us about the Christmas tour then. What can we be excited about?
Right. Well, while we was doing the album, we was also running a Christmas thing that dates back to April, probably. We've always wanted to do this thing for Christmas. I know we did a Christmas song 2 years ago.
You know what's, because you said to me, there's a thing and it's top secret. And I tried to get it out of you and I couldn't. I just said, I'm going to listen out and wait for the news of the thing. Is it time that we can talk about the thing?
We can talk about it to a point. The trouble is I've lost track of our social media because I've been in the studio, so I'm not up to speed with everything, unfortunately. I know there's an announcement going out very, 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 very soon about what the song's going to be, but I'm loath to say what it is today.
Don't say then.
It's a song that I think if we all put our hat in the ring and said what would be the Christmas song that we would cover, it's that one, and we all pretty went unanimous on it.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
So, and I've always wanted to do it, and it's one of my favourite songs of all time. A Christmas song, and oh God, I'm going to give it. I'll give a little hint out, because if any of the Cat fans are watching this, some of them might know, because I've actually played the song live with Damien in the Supersonic 70s.
Right.
And it blew the roof off. His vocal on it was extraordinary. And I said, I've got to record this. So we have, and we put a campaign together. And the dive into Christmas tour is mainly because we got the Christmas song from 2 years ago, My Kind of Christmas. So I think we're going to become a Christmas touring band at some point anyway.
Yeah, why not?
Also, because half of those Christmas dates we've got coming up were meant to be on the original Dive tour.
Right.
But when we had to rebook for the second and third time because of COVID, all the dates scattered. We couldn't get them all together.
Right. Okay.
And it was looking more and more like that we could do more dates in December than we could in September. So we just went, you know what? It's going to be really tough and it might affect ticket sales, but let's do September and December.
Yeah.
So we're kind of being a bit nutty about it. Because it's very tough to go out and do 2 tours, albeit not in the same venues, in the same kind of quarter of the year, if you like. But that's the way that COVID hit us. Well, we can cancel those dates and never do them, or we can just stick them in and hope for the best. So we have Sheffield, Nottingham, Stoke, Reading, Wimborne down in Dorset. We're going to Dover. We're going to all places that we didn't touch on the first.
Right.
And that will hopefully promote the Christmas song. So
exciting, isn't it?
It's
well, I usually do a Christmas show, so the Christmas songs have to go in my Christmas show. Yeah.
Got to. You'll love it. When you know what it is, you'll go, oh God, have they really done that?
You know what I'm going to do? I've already in my head, I've already placing my bets in my head.
I'll give you a clue. It's not Bohemian Rhapsody, because that was a Christmas #1 in '75.
Okay, well, I was thinking proper Christmas songs.
Oh, good, because I go, oh yeah, Cats in Space will do Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like, no, we bloody well won't.
yeah, you don't want to set yourself up for that, do you, Christ?
No, good.
But no, I'll tell you what though, in my head, no, I don't think I should say, because if it's not, then if it is, then you'll go, I don't know if I should confess. And if it isn't, then you'll think maybe I wish we'd done that one. But I'm just thinking about, there's a West Midlands band, there's a West Midlands band that did one of the most popular Christmas songs. So I wondered if it might be that one.
West Midlands, that gives a clue to a certain person, doesn't it?
That's what I was thinking. So yeah. Well, there's a couple of them, aren't there? There's a couple of the best Christmas songs that were born out of the West Midlands. So it could be either.
Could be either. I've played them hundreds and hundreds of times as well.
Yeah. Well, you haven't denied. So there's not confirmed, but not denied either. So everyone's going to have to just wait and see.
Yeah, I love Roy Wood. I'm a huge, huge fan of Roy Wood and The Move. Huge fan.
I'm really good friends with Bev Bevans, so I've been to quite a lot of the shows with where they play. There's a whole bunch of musicians from Birmingham, and they still play all the Moves tracks and everything. There's like Danny King and a whole bunch of them. It's amazing. So yeah,
I'd love to see that, because superb, great music.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Yeah. Well, of course, there is another band from the West Midlands too, as well. So
yeah, there is. I've played that one a few times and all for about 20 years. Yeah.
So it could be either of those, perhaps. Okay. Well, let's move on, because otherwise I'll be sat here speculating, and then we'll end up giving it away. You did also mention another sneaky exclusive to me before about, because we do want listeners to, this is your opportunity to sell stuff as well. So, we're selling the tour. We want people to go and buy tickets, but we also might want them to save their pennies for Christmas presents, because there's the first in what will be a series of Cats in Space books as well, isn't there, with the sheet music? Yeah,
there is. Well, we've launched Too Many Gods, which is the first book. These take a long time to do. We've been planning this we've been asked for sheet music for probably 2 years. So I finally found somebody that could do the book the way we wanted to do it. It's going to be like a Whizzer and Chips annual from the 70s, say, that kind of hardback, glossy finish. But it'd be much more deluxe than a book. Yeah, it's on really nice quality paper. It's a proper hardback thing. There's exclusive photos. There's all the sheet music for all the songs off Too Many Gods. We painted ourselves into a corner a bit, because we were originally going to let's just do 15 songs off the 4 albums. And then we said, yeah, but a lot of people might like all of them. So we went, okay. So Andy Stewart, our keyboard player, Wizard, he's been scoring out all the music, because he can score music. He's a clever sod.
Wow.
He's been working on that, and that's taken him a long time to do, because it's not just the top musical stage. I think he's doing 4, which is really quite extensive.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the back half of the book, so all the songs and the lyrics and the chords. And then there's stories about every song.
Yeah.
Some photos that have never been seen before, that are from the period of time that the album was done, before there was even a band. This is when it was just me, Mick Wilson and Stevie Bacon, Yeah. So it's going to be quite good. and they come signed if you want them. And then we'll do Scarecrow probably sometime later next year. Then we'll do Narnia and so on and so forth. So yeah, they really are going to be quite exceptional, and I'm really pleased about it, because it's something that, you know, when you're in a band and stuff, it's very rare that you actually bring out a book. You know, most unless you're really famous and you're like Robbie Williams or something, and you get autobiographies coming out. So it's quite cool to actually have a book, and so I'm pleased about it. I
think it's a lovely piece of memorabilia as well, and it's the kind of thing people are going to want to buy and then try and get. You know, if they don't buy a signed copy, they might want to try and grab you to sign it and stuff like that. But it sounds like an amazing piece of memorabilia, and probably good timing if there's one out before Christmas as well, or already out. So
we'll be out for Christmas. Yeah, definitely. They're going to print imminently, actually. So we're hoping that we'll have them. Well, where are we now? October, aren't we? So yeah, hopefully by the end of November we should hopefully have them. But they'll definitely be ready for Christmas, and they'll be lobbed in with all the Christmas stuff, with the new single and the CD, and we've got a Katniss tin that's coming out as well. That's
brilliant.
We bought a Katniss tin out 2 years ago with the other Christmas single, where we've got Mark II coming out this year. That's an exclusive.
Hey,
more goodies in there with exclusive CD and a different variant of the sleeve of the single and all stuff like that. So big posters are coming out.
You've basically got it covered, haven't you? You've got it all covered. All the merch anyone could wish for. All your Christmas presents sorted. All we need is a few bags of sweets and a couple of tangerines for the stocking.
Yeah, and you're done. Yeah.
And you're done, yeah. Perfect.
You know, at the end of the day, bands make as much money on merch as they do on records and CDs.
It's super important. And I think with Christmas coming, here's a suggestion for you if you haven't thought of it already. Socks.
Cat socks.
Yeah. Cat socks. Why not?
We've been asked for cat socks, beanie hats, baseball caps, you name it, ties. Just because the cat helmet, it transcends beyond music. It goes into a really cool item.
Well, you could get little socks that look like cat paws and then have some branding on them. I'm only saying that because I've got cat paw socks, and it is cute. Yeah.
Oh, send us a picture of them, because that could be a good.
It might be a thing, or a picture of my socks.
Could be a thing. That could be.
Yeah. All right, I'll do that. Yeah,
we do.
I'll drop them over.
Drop them over. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I think I've managed to squeeze out of you stuff about tours, stuff about the new album, and stuff about and secrets and everything. So we've covered quite a lot already. So it might be time to move on to a couple of random questions.
Oh, random. Go on then. Yeah.
Yeah, random questions. So I like this one because you've been doing this a long time. So this probably doesn't happen to you very often, because you probably are, well, you certainly are somebody's musical hero, but plenty of people's musical heroes. So you're the one making plenty of people starstruck. But the question is, have you ever met any of your musical heroes? So has anybody made you starstruck?
I mean, I did kind of vaguely meet Brian May, so I just got to do this look.
Oh, see, real life. See, do you want me to get my cat again? Oh no, she's asleep again. I can't do it to her twice, can I?
Time, bless her. God,
I think we should always have cats in Zoom videos.
These two are they love it. She's I met Brian May very, very briefly, but not really to speak to, because he was at a Born Free event, and that was quite cool. And I also had a cup of tea with Gary Moore. He made me a cup of tea in his socks, which is, I've mentioned that loads of times to people.
Nice.
He was hiring a car out one New Year to go and see his family, and long story, but I kind of helped get the car down to him in Brighton, because I don't live far away. And he just invited me, and we had a cup of tea, had a right good natter, spoke about Thin Lizzy, and he's asking about the tribute band that I was in at the time, Thin Lizzy tribute. And he was just a really, really good bloke. I mean, he's my ultimate guitar hero. So to kind of sit there with him talking just about stuff was really, really cool.
But what about starstruck though? Because that sounds like you got on really well and it was quite chill. Does anyone actually kind of made you go a bit fanboy?
Not as such. I think if I was to meet someone like Kate Bush, I think I might go to pieces.
That might be for different reasons.
Well, yeah, of course, there's always that. But
super high.
Our engineer, Ian Capel, he did some stuff with Kate in the early days at EMI. So he has done sessions with Kate Bush, and he tells me the stories. It's like, God, wow. So yeah, I'd be a bit of a fanboy if I met Kate, I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, you know, Phil Lynott and Freddie Mercury and, you know, all my heroes are dead, which is, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd met anybody I would actually be starstruck as such. I don't know. Maybe Paul Stanley. I think if Paul Stanley came in the room, I think I'd be a bit like, yeah, fair play, my man. You know.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, but I think when you get older, like I am, you tend to, not the magic doesn't go. You still retain that kind of wide-eye wonder of when you was a kid, but I think age beats you down a bit, you know. But I think Paul Stanley would be as yeah.
I think it's nice to retain that a little bit, because I mean, you know, doing what I do, I meet a lot of musicians and stuff all the time, and what the lovely thing is the fact that most people, you feel relaxed in their company, and you know, but it is nice those times when you think, oh my God, I made a bit of a dick of myself because I went fangirl and I didn't know what to say. At the time you think, why did I do that? And then afterwards you think, well, it's still quite nice, like you say, to retain a little bit of that.
Well, definitely.
I think it's better to find out that everybody is just down to earth and normal. I think there's something really lovely about that. But at the same time, sometimes I do want to have a moment where I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's absolutely right. If you lose that, I think you lose half the game. You know, it's like when we do Cats albums, and when I'm writing the songs, I write them obviously for my own kind of benefit and my own kind of enjoyment, but I still have this thing, as we all do in the band, where we picture the scene before we've even finished the album. We've already pictured the album artwork and everything, and we still can imagine what it would be like to be a 13-year-old when you go into Boots or your local record store and get that album on the day of release, and you open it up. And I've still got that thing inside me now, which transcends into what we do as a band, which if I lost that, then I think it would be a bit stuffed. So I don't think it ever really goes away. And obviously you hope that other people get that feeling with your music when they take it home. And if they do, and we do get told that quite a lot by, you know, the fans and stuff, that's worth so much more than even applause and money. It's worth more because you've struck a feeling that tends to go in and stays with them. And it's long may that continue. I think the day that goes is the day that you kind of knock it on the head, to be fair.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why you do a lot of vinyl as well, isn't it? Because you get more of that feeling from vinyl than you ever would from, well, you know, cassettes or CDs or anything. And certainly not from downloading music. You don't touching it and feeling it and holding it and opening the cover and pulling it out. And there's something special about special editions and coloured vinyl. And, you know, I could never have sold my vinyl. I could never have got rid of any of it. You know, it's all still there intact. And
your children, isn't it? Yeah. But again, because the vinyl transcends back to for me, the 70s when I was a kid. And obviously, if you're from the CD era, then the whole thing isn't relevant. But when you're kind of 40 plus or whatever, that vibe of having that vinyl and then putting it into your collection in the right place next to the thing, you know.
You don't need to have any detail on the way that I order my vinyl, because, oh my God, there's a system within a system within a system, because I used to stack it in the order I bought it in. The newest one went at the front so I could see it, but that's all good and well until you buy multiple albums at the same time. Like I used to go to a lot of record fairs and record shops and buy a chunk of stuff. So then I'd have it in alphabetical order. And then what if it's the same letter? So I'd have then in date of release order, or I think it was date of release order and then alphabetical. So I've got 3 systems going on. And if anyone messes with it, I know. So I've also done a list to back it up just in case.
Really?
Yeah, well, when I do my vinyl DJing, I have to take albums out with me, but then they have to go back in where they came from. So I have to get a list.
That's brilliant. That's professional. That is. It's alphabetical, and that's it, really.
It's nerdy, and you've got to worry about me a little bit because it's more annoying than if I just had them in alphabetical order. But it worked for me at the time when I was in my bedroom at home. But
the thing too now as well, of course, is if you buy the reissued, like the new stuff from like 20,000 onwards, it's like, where do you put that in your collection? Like I say my back catalogue Thin Lizzy collection, I've got all the original presses, the whole lot. I've got all the foreign presses. I've got white label test presses, you name it, I've got it. You know, I've got every variant of Jailbreak, you know. But then, of course, they bring out all the reissues on Back to Black vinyl, or you think, does that go into the A to Z, or do we start a new era
See, that's where my system wouldn't let you down. My system's perfect for that because it would just go at the front.
So I've got to have a new era, then a classic thing, So
you might have to, yeah.
Yeah, original presses go there, then, but yeah.
Yeah, start a whole new alphabet, but the new stuff. Yeah, I reckon that's the way. See, I'm here to solve all your problems as well in life.
Vinyl, yeah. Talking down vinyl. Yeah.
All right, another question then. This one's a bit more random. If there was going to be, see, you've done a lot. And we've got all of this stuff, all of this memorabilia and things, and there's all these collections and stuff. So if there was going to be a film of your life, who would you want to play you? Now, I remember.
I know.
The answer you gave me before.
And I've forgotten. Oh, no. Did I say Count Arthur Strong?
You did.
Did I? Yeah.
But that was option 3, because first of all, you said Johnny Depp, and then you decided you might not be able to afford him. And I said, that doesn't matter because we're not talking about a real life situation here, so you can have who you want.
Yeah, I'll go Johnny Depp, wouldn't I? Because
Johnny Depp, Count Arthur Strong, and unfortunately, Jeff suggested Christopher Biggins for you.
That's why Jeff doesn't do interviews with me.
Yeah, Jeff's been banned. He was allowed to do one at Stone Dead. He's now banned again.
Your dad into interviews. That's a problem. I think, yeah, I don't know. It'd be a very boring film, actually, to be fair.
Oh, come on, it wouldn't. It'd be fun.
It wouldn't. Most of it wouldn't be able to be shown.
Well, that might be another question.
In the 90s, it wouldn't be able to be shown.
That's what we want to see. We want to see the stuff that's not to be shown.
The 90s was a crazy time for me.
Yeah.
When all the kind of grunge thing came in, and I went to the tribute world, and I went to a glam rock tribute show that we had some wild times. From 92 to 99, we had some wild times. It was brilliant. It was the best time.
It was actually a great era for music, and people talk about the 80s a lot, and obviously 70s, 60s and stuff, but people forget that there was, grunge did seem to dominate the scene, but there was actually, especially early 90s, there was a lot of amazing music that was still my genre, because I was sort of late 80s, early 90s, and some of my favorite stuff was early 90s. And
definitely, yeah, 91, 92.
Yeah. Amazing years.
There's some good. Unfortunately, a lot of the rock stuff did die out, but then there's stuff in the 90s that you kind of tend to forget about, and you had your Blur and Oasis and that kind of stuff. But I was off doing this glam rock tribute thing, going around the country, 3-4 times a week, just going absolutely nuts, and it was just the best time, because while everybody else was like saying grunge is this and Oasis and Blur, I was playing Alvin Stardust and Wizard and Sweet and Chicory Tip and Susie Quattro and that kind of stuff, and it was just the best time. It was
that stuff never died. That scene never died, did it? So, all right, then here's another one. Just to add to that, who would you have, one band, to play the soundtrack to the film of your life?
One band will be Queen.
Of course. What a great answer. Yeah. Why would it be anybody else apart from Cats in Space, obviously?
Or Jellyfish. I'd have Roger Manning, Tim Smith, Andy Sturmer, Eric Dover. I'd have them do it if Queen weren't able to do it. So. Well,
this is more of a fantasy question. So let's assume Queen are available. Let's resurrect Freddie from the dead and let's have them do it for you. Why not?
To hear Freddie Mercury sing some of our songs, good God, how would that be?
Don't know.
It'd be amazing.
It would be incredible. It'd be the greatest thing ever. So there we go.
My maker do my guitar harmonies properly. That'd be fantastic.
Johnny Depp will be doing them, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, then one more random question for you, and then we'll kind of wrap up. So, you may have already answered this, but if Netflix were going to make a series about your life, would you rather they got their material from interviews with your exes or hidden cameras in your house?
Hidden cameras in my house, I think, because if they go to my exes, it'd be awful.
Yeah. So hang on now. So what we've deduced is the juice
buried. You have to go and dig them up. They've all been buried. No, you wouldn't want to do that. No, that's actually. I'm friends with a few of my exes from many years ago. We've remained friends, but I wouldn't like to be put on the spot with that. To be fair.
No, well, the question is there to put you on the spot. So yeah,
who's in the house now? That'd be much more fun. Yeah,
well, there'll be cats in there as well, running around. It'd be fun. I would watch it. If for nothing else other than the cats. But yeah, bear in mind they're hidden cameras though as well. So then you would.
I quite fancy that. I don't mind doing that. Yeah, I've always fancied doing like I'm a celebrity or Not Big Brother, because that's just appalling, but something like I'm a Celebrity or something. You could I do that? I couldn't eat the food, that horrible
No.
knives and the or that caper. I couldn't do that. But the rest, I'd quite like to embrace my fears. Yeah. I won't get asked. I'm not a celebrity, but who knows?
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll start doing challenges where you can pay to do it. But the food situation, I couldn't do the food situation. It was just grim.
No,
I couldn't eat worms and things. No, for a start, it's not right. Anyway, before I get on my high horse about that, and also the thing with spiders running all over your face. I mean, that would be embracing my fears. I reckon I could do that. I'd freak out, but I reckon I could do it.
Yeah, easy. That would be a problem. I could pick a spider up, no problem. The heights thing would be a bit tricky. That would be me.
I've done some heights challenge things, and it is scary, but you feel incredible when you've done it. But yeah. All right then.
I'll go for it.
One final question then. Being as you've I feel like you're quite wise. I feel like you've learned a lot from this interesting life of yours. Mm-hmm. If you had one piece of wisdom or advice to give to the people viewing this right now, how to stay happy and positive, what would that be?
Well, what would that be? It would be it sounds really corny and really crass. And when certain people say it, you think, yeah, it's all right for you, mate. You're a millionaire and you got loads of money. But they got there through following their dreams. Mm. And it's like, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something, and don't let anybody beat you down. If you really want to do something, you only get one stab at life.
Yeah.
You don't get a second go to make amends, So it's like, if you really want to do something and you really believe that is the thing that you really should be doing, do it. Just do it, and it will come at various amounts of consequences, and mostly financial, I'd imagine. But you have to do it because people have to do it, So you should always follow your dreams, and just don't put up with stuff, because life's short, And COVID, if it's taught us one thing, is that I think a lot of people are changing their mindsets, and they're thinking, do you know what? Sod that job, sod working for that person that just beats me down all the time and treats me like that. Go try it. What have you got to lose?
Yeah, I agree with you. But so all right, just do it. I mean, Nike have stolen that one, first for you, but just do it and follow your dreams. They've probably been used before, but they're very, very valid.
Yeah, it's corny but true. It's like, if you really want to do something, just go for it. I mean, that's what I did. I'm not saying that, I'm not sitting in a castle, but I'm certainly very blessed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I made my own choices.
Yeah, and sitting at home watching telly when you could be going out watching bands, doing tours. So before we sign off, people, remember, when you finish watching this, if you haven't done it already, go and buy a ticket to the Christmas tour. Do it. You won't be disappointed. And if you don't, you have me and Greg to answer to. So just go and do it. No more watching EastEnders, no more staying in and wondering why everything's happening everywhere else. Go and buy a ticket. That's my advice. It's not even my interview, but that's my advice to people.
Sky Plus it. If you can Sky Plus anything, you can catch up anything.
Of course you can.
But you can't Sky Plus Cats in Space on the Dive Into Christmas tour. You've got to be there or you'll forget it.
Exactly. And while you're at it, buy a book. So anyway.
The book, you pre-order it now.
Pre-order now, people. Just get on with it.
It's all there on the website. People know that. If they want to go and look around at our web store, please do.
It is, exactly. It's all there. It's not hard to find. We have the internet. So there you go. Right then, thank you so much, Greg. It has been awesome catching up with you again.
It worked this time.
It did, and thanks for watching, everybody out there as well. So I am Caz Parker for MMH, the home of rock radio, with the legend that is Greg Hart from the awesome and marvellous Cats in Space. Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.